What is going on, guys? And today we are back in the mix. So I'm going to turn my music down a little bit. Today is day 2, session 2, I would say, of the 100K Phenom Way. Playing a little 3-6-8 game right now. They do have a 100-200 circus mix going, but unfortunately, that is outside the scope of our bankroll requirements. We were four-handed a second ago. Now we're heads up. So we will see if there's another table going here in a minute. I'm going to 2-bet heads up here with the split 5s and a 6. Make 2 pair. Obviously my board runs out pretty good, so I'm going to keep betting here with the suited 6. When he checks here, there's not like too much trapping I want to do with my 2 pair. I think I just want to keep betting. Obviously now I make a full house, so I'm just going to keep betting forward. Hopefully at some point we'll get some more action, but just going to keep betting down at this point. And he has 2 7s, and we do scoop that hand. So off to a nice start there. There is another small mix game. It's a 1-2 circus mix, but it is shorthanded as well, so I don't want to play too many 2 shorthanded games at this point. Raise here on the button on limit Omaha 8, and we get donked into on the turn. I still think we call with 10s and 6s. Bad river card because now we get scooped by a lot of the straights. I don't think 2 pairs leading on the turn, so that on turn card lead is kind of like either just straight low or it is a straight. I think once we get here to 10s and 6s that we're probably calling. He did have 9s and 7s. Or 9-7 for straight. Hand's probably close to a fold pre-flop for him, pre-flop, but whatever. But I did like a live 4, I'm not folding that one. Interesting flop here on the 9-9-6. Could do some leading, could do some checking. I think with no spade I'm going to do a little bit more checking. Could honestly check raise this one, but I think I'm just going to call. Turn pretty good, and I'm actually going to go ahead, I think, and lead this one. I have the straight blockers. I am open-ended. I make a pair. And we do get there on the river, so still just betting this one. And again, if I get raised, like my opponent shouldn't have too many combinations of full houses. Like he definitely can have combinations of full houses, but I think paying a straight off on that board is probably fine. Three-handed again. Jack 10 8 6. This is probably close, probably a slight loser, so muck this one here in the small. I'll do 3-9-7 on the button here, double suited. We're gonna open. The 9's a pretty bad card for the 3 other cards in my hand, but it is double suited, so. And as always, if you guys are on YouTube, please like and subscribe. Questions, comments, great. If you have any feedback you'd like to give, let me know. You can email me at learnmixedgames@gmail.com. Flop pretty bad here. We decide to check flop. We do turn 2 pair, obviously calling with 2 pair. And the ace is a good card for our range. It's kind of interesting that my opponent's betting into me because, again, like that card makes a lot of 2 pair hands for me. So I call here a lot with aces up. So I think having 9s and 3s here, we're just going to let this one go. But I do check like a fair bit of like even ace king on that flop with no straight draw. Some straight draws, definitely for sure betting. And this is a pretty bad hand. Also, if you guys have not opened a Phenom account, click the link below. Or when you register, use code LMG. Interesting, ace, ace, ace flop. And no one's got an ace. Also, if you do, let me know. Your referral will count towards the challenge, so then I can mark it down and I can let you guys know how that goes going forward. Raz here. Yeah, interesting one here when he checks, but I'm just gonna go ahead and check this one. And now he can have a 9-7, but he did check 5th Street, which is somewhat interesting. So I think this is kind of close, I think, but I think I'm going to call this one. And then on the river, I'm just going to let this one go. Ace 6-8. I think I'm going to raise this one, actually. Reason why is that ace 6-8 are all blockers to what his cards need, and it does work. Again, if you're looking for like bluffs and razz, it's usually like when you have a ton of blockers that your opponent needs. Those are usually, like, I would say, a really good candidate to turn your hand in razz into a bluff. Here with the deuce queen, though, we're gonna let this one go. Even though the deuces are something that my opponent needs, my hand is just... My opponent should be calling a lot, and pretty bad hand in that spot. 2-4-6 here against the 4 open. I'm going to 2-bet. And catch a jack and catches a queen. I think I'm still leading. Definitely leading 5th Street here. Sometimes when you guys both go face cards on 4th Street, it depends on like what the ranges are. If my range is really tight, I should still be probably doing some betting. And if the ranges are wide, like say my range is wide and his is tight, and I catch good and he catches like mediocre, depending on what the card is, the equities run pretty close. But in a scenario where like I'm still ahead with the jack and against the queen and I have a stronger range, then I should be betting. Yeah, 1-200 circus mix, 3-6 big O game, 4-8 deuce to 7 triple draw. That does not qualify for the challenge because that is just a single game. In the future, I might still play those and put those up, but they will not count towards the challenge. I'm sure a lot of people also are always looking for good deuce to 7 content. There still is a circus mix going, but I still think it's shorthanded. I'm going to take a look. It is still shorthanded. Nine versus 10-5. Not quite sure who bet the river there. I thought for a second D-Moose did, but doesn't make a ton of sense if he did. King 10 Jack 7 here. This is probably like a difference between like a neutral EV limp and race, so it doesn't really matter what we do. But once we get race, we're still calling. PLO capped. 40 big blind. We do flop. A pretty strong hand here. We flop. I think this is a hand I'm actually going to lead for like half. Flop the jack high straight with a straight flush draw. Top pair also. Not the best card in the deck for our hand, obviously. Probably doing some checking on this one. On the river here, we're probably still checking the 7 high straight. And we do win. I think it's kind of hard for my opponent there to call river, even though he did flop 3 pair, it looked like. But the jack is just such a bad card for his range, especially when I lead. He doesn't block a diamond, but still, I'm not sure if I bet a 7. Definitely can check that one out in PLO Trainer later. Again, I review mostly all my sessions too, so can definitely look at that one a little bit later. He checks 6-7 with the suited ace, 4-handed. It's definitely going to be a raise against the limp, I believe. Question is, how big do we want to go? Yeah, we'll go 5-18. I'm actually kind of surprised when you look at solver's range for the most part in PLO at the 40 big blind cap. It still checks a lot of hands you would think would be raises. I also think the reason why that is because in a GTO world, especially in a format like this, your opponent should have a lot more calls in limp re-raises, and especially in this format, because this format over here is a 5x. They still haven't changed that, and I've been told the table factors are actually coming this week. So that'll be really, really cool. Ace Jack 4-6 here on the button. I think I'm gonna limp. But again, if you can lower the SPR pre-flop, the solver loves to try to find ways to do it. Here, obviously, we flop. But this is actually probably a raise pre-flop instead of a limp, now that I think about it, just because this is not a hand that necessarily wants to see flop. It probably suited aces. It might do that. But my hand probably wants to steal the blinds. 10-10-8 here with a suit. I'm going to go ahead and pot this one. And might have to see this one three ways. SPR is 2.5, so given that fact, this is probably just a hand that we just want to. We're probably going to have to pot get it in if we get raised. Given the fact that we have a gut shot, 2 over pairs, or set draws, I would say, and the flush draw. All right, Jack 8 suited here on the button in the small blind. We're going to 3 bet. Flop an 8 and just going to bet down until see some sort of action. King, we probably do a fair bit of checking. It's probably a good card for our range, but also it's a heart, so not really folding. And then river, once we get here, I think all 8s are bets. And we do beat ace high. Just trying to think of the river call there. Probably okay, honestly. Definitely not folding flop, definitely not folding turn. And then once you get to the river, it's kind of, I guess you beat queen highs, jack highs. So that maybe makes a little bit of sense. Again, another hand that could throw into Pio. This hand is going in the muck, however. D-moves times out a lot. I wonder if he's playing on mobile. Found another one we're not playing somehow. Heads up limit hold'em, you're usually playing a lot of your hands. Like this, I gotta think all queens are raises on buttons. Probably all face card combinations are probably raises on buttons. Now here's an interesting one we can consider checking back. We don't have like any diamonds. Our side cards don't make us any straight draws. I think like this is okay. And against the bet, call. And against bet, river, call as well. And he has the 10 high. We got him to bluff with the 10 high, so not the worst situation. Also, don't blame him for barreling off there with the 10 high. And I think he was double gutted, so. Ace 9 heads up here. We're gonna 3-bet this one. Definitely have to look at the aces to see what it does in a heads up scenario. Not all aces are gonna be 3 bets. I have to think solver here actually is going for the value bet here with ace 9, believe it or not. Alright, stud 8 or better. Against a 6 complete, I think we're just going to call this combo. I think we still call, honestly. And now I'm going to turn my hand, I think, into 2 bluff streets. Because I did call on 4th street and he gave up on 5th, which doesn't make much sense. So when I catch a good one there, I think I'm just going to bluff this one off. This one, I think I'm going to use this one as a limp. Even though there's not a ton of antes in there, I think like heads up this is fine. And he leads into me with the 10, so I'm going to muck it. But there is a lot of dead money, and again, equities still run relatively close in this game pre-flop. Queen tech gen here, I think we're going to raise this one. He kind of semi-bricks out, and we catch semi-good, so I think we bet. Again, we have 3 spades on our board, even though he is catching 2 low cards. And now he catches a 3rd low card, so we're going to check to him, because he definitely could have some low cards in his hand. And with no pair, no draw, no low draw, we're going to give this one up. Hopefully Baldy's mix is going to be going here in a little bit. And there's 2 big O games going, a triple draw, R8 game, a circus mix, which is 1-200. Still defending the 4-7-3 here. And still calling. Again, my opponent here could be pretty wide. Deuce 3-4. And you definitely have to find ways to balance, like you're limping here if you do have like ace-5. I don't really have a ton of ace-5s though. Like I could have 5-6, I think, theoretically. But usually the ace-5 is just running pretty good against the opening range. So Queen Jack Deuce here, rainbow. You know, I saw in the 100K heads up, I knew the eventual winner, and I can never pronounce his name, like Evis Lodge or something like that. Against the limp here, I still think I'm calling. And now when he pairs 10s, we're just folding. He opened, I think it was Texas Mike who brought it in with an 8, and I can never say his last name. The guy who ended up winning it, he stole or attempted to steal with the king up in like Queen 7 rainbow in the hole. And that one kind of perplexed me a little bit, because I mean, if he's stealing that hand, he's basically stealing like 100%. I can't find a hand that he's folding if that's the case. So and I do not think in that situation you should be trying to steal 100%. That seems pretty optimistic. Here we do have like some call and draw 4s, but I think the 5 is probably somehow it's a little bit too rough. So here we have the 4, 5, 6, 7, and this is something for you guys that are just learning. If you do find yourself with this hand on the first draw, usually you're breaking the 6 and drawing 2. Try to get off that straight draw. We still have the straight draw, but we definitely don't want the open-ended straight draw. And now this is probably a good hand to consider padding. We don't have necessarily that great of a draw, and we have a pair of 4s in our hand, so. But Baseball Day usually starts streaming around 3 p.m. on a, let's see, usually Tuesday, Thursday, and today is a Wednesday technically, but I think he switched his schedule. I can actually look this up. Twitch, Baseball Day. All right, so 2-2 we do improve, and usually heads up we're not doing anything too different here except leading. And 1-1. Let's go ahead and check. We can catch the ace. Oh, we got Mr. Baseball here in the background, but I'm just going to mute him. Let's see. Call. Draw 1. Did it freeze on me again? Alright, so this occasionally, it very, very rarely happens, and it's been a long time since it happened, unless I just lost my... Did I lose my internet connection? Oh, there we go. Got it back. I must have lost my internet connection. In my opponent's stands pat here, and this is actually quite close with the 98 between like betting and check calling, but we do get the value bet with 9-8 against the 9-8-7. Oh, Wednesday he took it off. Well, he had a scheduled stream for today. It looks like he took this one off. I know Vegas right now has a ton of tournaments going, so that might have something to do with it too. Bottom pair pairs with us. check the ace one back here. Not the best river, not the worst river. Depends on what size. If our opponent does bet into us on the river here. That sizing, I mean, obviously we just have an easy call. I don't think we bluff raise this one, so he does have a jack. Do win that one. Don't think we're betting our exact combo on the turn, since our kicker is not playing. 7-3 offsuit here, I think, is a fold. Where's our friend Mr. Hercules from? The mythical creature. Hello, Josh! Welcome to the game, good sir. Flop top two with the min raise and the queens and fives. I bet the 52%. That is an ode to oh my goodness, Veni Vidi. I saw him have the 52% on, so I decided to put that in there for him. We're gonna do 3x here with Josh with a 10 jack. Oh, hey Jay, how are you, bud? I will pick up his slack. Oh yeah, he's in I think he's in Arizona watching some spring training games. All right, if you guys want the secret, there is no better place, almost no better place in the world between January and March than Scottsdale, Arizona. Not only for the poker, you got the Phoenix Open, you have the Barrett-Jackson, you have some of the best weather anywhere, especially in the US during that time. The food is fantastic. It's one thing I miss about Scottsdale is the food. Seven card stud. Oh, I'm gonna muck this one. Feels kind of dirty, but I'm gonna fold this one. And Josh goes for really thin value in these games too. It's 9s and 4s and checked. Ooh, Hercules made a sneaky straight. Jay, can you hear the music? How is it? 3 with 2 overs here. I think I'm gonna go ahead and call. Catch queen to his. Again, my opponent here has a pretty wide steal, even though he catches relatively good. We're still going to call. Do make 10s. And here's kind of a close spot to actually consider raising. I actually think I'm going to raise this one. I have a king in my hand too, so it's less likely my opponent has a king. Bet this one, I catch a 6. And we do get the fold. But again, against wide ranges there, I think 10s is, for lack of a better word, printing a lot of money. Easy steal here with the ace up. Yep, no change yet. Like a pair of 8s, so our hand just improved. And still betting here, given the fact that I have a 6 and an ace in my hand, ace and a deuce and a 6 in my hand, and then on the river here with 9s. My board is ace, deuce, 8, 9, so it doesn't look like I have 2 pairs. So again, definitely should be going for value there in my mind. If I had no blockers to his straight, I still think I actually go for the value. You want to get paid off light in these limit games. Josh flats with an ace, which which is interesting. And then he decides to lead. I don't think I'm going to jam it just yet. I think I'm going to call and see Fifth Street decide. And no one's really caught anything at this point. But I think I'm just going to let Josh kind of do his thing. And now we have split tens and a flush draw. I think I'm going to raise him. And this is like one of those raises where I don't think I can get re-raised by Josh. But if he folds, it's awesome for me because he has equity. And if he calls, I don't have to bet the river. And I have outs if I don't have the best hand. Two for fun mix. Let's see what they're playing over here. It's usually a Moxie game. It is Moxie and D-Moose. But if they're heads up, I'm not going to jump right in right away. I'm going to let them. I'm going to see if the game fills up a little bit because it's just a little bit hard to play shorthanded mix games at the same time while trying to direct a stream. So, all right, Josh raises here with the jack. Again, this can be a pretty wide bet. Let's re-steal. Especially since we caught a jack. Our board's running out pretty good at this point, so I think I'm going to go ahead and bet. Do get raised, but I'm not folding yet. It's still calling. We make kings on the river here. I think I'm just going to lead into him, honestly. And he folds again. Pretty raggedy hand here in the small blind. Double suited, probably a play. A lot of combos of double suited that you would not think to play probably in the small blind. Music very low, barely hear it. Yeah, I kind of designed it this time, but it felt like it was a little bit loud. I'll turn it up and let me know how it is. I gotta get the setting right. Ace King 3-3 here on the button. We do have 2 3s on this board. Josh does some sneaky things here. Sometimes he does little wheel, but we're never folding with 2 3s in our hand and Ace King. Honestly, depending on what the river is, we're most likely getting this hand to showdown. We do get scooped by 6-7 though now, but we are not folding. So he has 3-7 low with a trip 4s. Take the money, good sir. All right, King, Queen, Jack 10, big blind, call. Good flop for us. This is definitely a much better flop for big blind's range. Doing a fair bit of raising, I would say, on it. Turn nuts with a redraw to the full house. And we win that one. Ace 6, 7, 9 here in the small blind against button open is probably fold. The Badoogies are... They just go down so much in value. It's actually quite amazing if you ever look at the charts to see the distribution of like what a double suited hand, good double suited hand looks like versus a. This is close here. The 9, 3, 5, 6 on the button. I think I'm going to open it. I think there's some things that want me to open this hand. Just the fact that I know Josh will probably call pretty light, but like there's also rake in this game too. So close hands I think are like. Close for a reason. Like I don't know if we want to necessarily get in there with them for that reason. So turn here is quite interesting now because we have 9s and 3s and we're open-ended. I actually think I want to go for a raise on this turn. We do some checking here with some like 2 pairs on this hand, and I think this was one to consider it. He did have queens and 9s, but we had some outs on the turn obviously with an open-ended draw. So without that open-ended draw there, I'm not raising. But when I pick up some low and high equity, I think raising is totally fine. Ace, King, Queen, 6 against the limp and the call. This becomes a 2-bet. And on that flop texture, we're just going to go ahead and check. I think we're still calling. This might be a little bit loose of a call on the turn. But the only thing I think my opponent can really have here that often is like 3-5. He has 3-6 and a 10, but that hand will get scooped because we have a6 and a king. What are we playing? Raz. The 9 calls, the 7 opens. So I think this is kind of close because Josh has 100%. Hercules does not have 100%, but his 9 is not necessarily crushing my queen. Catch good here. We're still continuing. Now we have the best hand. I still think I'm checking this one. Phenom just announced Huckseed as the newest ambassador in the Discord. Yeah, I did see that. I actually, I did notice that. Now, Josh betting here represents that he has a pretty strong 7 draw. And we pairing that 10 is not great. And then Hercules also gets that 10. But I think we have to call here. So it's kind of a gross spot, actually. I think we're going to call again and see what we do. So we do improve. Now, we theoretically cannot beat a 10-7. Ooh, interesting. He is repping a 9. This is kind of an interesting spot. Man, I'm getting over 11 to 1 to call here. I don't think we're folding because this theoretically could just be a 10-9. So I think we're actually going to make a... We can beat the 10-9, obviously, so... We beat the 10-9, but we cannot beat the 10-8, 7-4-3. Oh, he had an 8. He's fine. He rivered an 8. It's all good. Kind of a wonky spot there, honestly. But, again... Josh could definitely be betting there super, super, super wide. And if I fold in Hercules has the best hand, I think that in itself is the travesty. Here against the pure steel, I think calling here with the king is fine. Plus we have an ace in our hand. But once we pair the 4, we have to get out. Fold with the face card because Josh is going to probably play back at us all the time. Fold here. Sorry. Again, folding here with the queen and the 8. Well, the circus misc is full again, the 100, 200. PLO capped. This one's close to a 3-bet, but I think this combination wants to call. I don't think we're folding to a 3x. Honestly, a pretty good flop for our hand, our blocker. Again, we probably do some leading here. This is probably one of them to consider. Probably wouldn't lead this flop without the heart, so I have some sort of backdoor draw. And this probably is one where we're going to have to consider just going for it, I think, at this point with the 7. Ugh. Unfortunately, we're going to have to call this one off. He does have the 7-8. And you're going to get it, sir. Ace, deuce, deuce, 3. Muck it. Who is in this game? Is it Huckseed? Yeah, Huckseed's playing the 1-2 game. Danny Fuse, Pisani. Who is this one? Rock Solid is William. I do not know that one name. Zigloff is also playing. He's Omega. Pretty action-packed game. Alright, pillow capped here with the double suited kings. I'm gonna be jamming this one here for sure. And we catch the sneaky full house here with the 10 deuce. So if given the opportunity here, we'll see if we can let Josh get in there with something. I want to bet on this river. I think I want to bet kind of small so he might be able to call me. Probably should still bet that board. Honestly, like just 1/3 pot. 10-9 5-6. Double gapper here is probably a fold, but again we can look that one up. Ace deuce jack 3 here on the button. I think we're going to open this one. Even though I did say earlier that the ace jack 4-6 is probably close to a. I might want to limp my suited aces, but flop a wheel. And this is a board that doesn't necessarily like interact too well with our range. Probably some wheels. We're definitely not folding. But I think my opponent here also has like a fair bit of, you know, 6, 7, 8 kind of combos. Not too many, I would say. Not too many 6-3 combos. I also said that last time in one of my videos and I ran right into 6-3, so. That is a very small sizing. I wonder if he's trying to get me to jam anything here. What do I pot here to 37 something? I do have the deuce 3 too, so I have 6 high straight draw, redraw. I think the board gets a little bit scary there when I don't have spades. If I have spades there, I think I'm... No, I think solver likes to... Yeah, it's kind of interesting. If I go back and look at that one, my guess is like solver likes to call still on that turn, but against that sizing, that sizing is not really a thing against like 5th pot. And we can almost jam all our chips in there too. Queen jack 3-3 here with the suited queen in the big. We're going to defend. Check with no blockers. And we are going to fold. PLO5, PLO5, big O, deuce again. 5-7 is probably close. Again, it's probably like one of these like slightly winning ones. 7-4's got to be a fold, obviously with like no equity on this flop and board texture. This is just a good board for us to just go ahead and bet. And I think we give up a lot here on this turn. Now on this river, which is kind of interesting. If he checked to us, we probably have to bluff, but we're going to let it go. We're going to Moano it and let it go. Wait, no, that's frozen. That 1-200 out of the BR. Yeah, well, no, I mean, for the challenge. Yes. 3-9 suited, call. Playing only 15-30 right now. 9-7 small, probably an open, close to an open. I don't think Josh ever checks these flops for what it's worth, so like check raising 8s I think would actually be a good strategy, but still fold 9-7, even though we are wrapped, quote unquote, wrapped around the 8. All right, I might have to take a break here in a second, guys. Give me 1 second. Sit out next hand. My kids are calling me, but so far, good board for us, open-ended. All right. All right. All right. I will be right back, hopefully. See what happens.